Lauren again. Hi. So, I had nothing better to do. This is usually like what I say now in the beginning of videos, isn't it? A few weeks ago I got another question corner, so question corner number 7. And so this question corner is from like a family friend of mine, so like my parents' friends basically. And they asked my mom to email me this question. So it's not actually like in the comments on one of my videos. But she asked, where am I living in Japan? What's north of me? What's south of me, etc. And how do the cities and suburbs compare? And how does the transportation in cities and suburbs compare? So there's like a lot of questions in one. So, I mean, a lot of people who watch my videos either live in Japan or know a lot about Japan, so maybe this video is not going to be quite so useful to you. But it will be useful for a lot of my friends back home that really don't know anything about Japan, and basically my entire family. And maybe, you know what, maybe it would be useful to you. And I'm going to preface this also by saying that I'm not by any means an expert on Japan. I'm not. I mean, I haven't been here very long. I mean, I have been interested in it for a very long time, but I really don't know anything. And I mean, I don't know everything about the US, and I grew up there my whole life. Basically, like, what I say might not be true for everywhere. I mean, I really only have a lot of experience in Osaka Prefecture, so, you know, maybe it's different elsewhere. I don't know. So, yeah, so I'm going to basically like put a map in this video that I designed. I found like the actual outline from like a coloring book page that you can, one of those things you can like print off the internet. But I've like put dots where major cities are. So here you go. Hey, so this is a map of Japan. The orange is Osaka, which is where I am living, and you can see the other green lines and dots as to where the other major cities of Japan are. I mean, obviously, not every city is here. So just take a moment to look at this map, and yeah. So you know, Okay, you done yet? Alright, let's continue on with the video. So, basically in Japan, cities and suburbs, they're definitely different, but they're not, at least, like, I grew up in New Jersey, and New Jersey has a pretty big mix of things, a big mix of suburbs and cities and like almost cities, like not quite cities, and very rural areas and beaches and, you know, like a very wide variety of different types of, like, I don't even know what to call them, like, I don't know, whatever they're called. Is there like a group name for these things? Types of places you can live. And so from, I mean, my understanding, like, I live in the country of Osaka Prefecture, and I would consider it like a large town where I live. I mean, there are definitely like farms and things. There's not a whole lot to do. I mean, there's definitely like stores and things, but I mean, it's bigger than my town that I grew up in, and like there's definitely, it seems like there's a little bit more to do in my town that I'm living in now than my hometown, basically, is what I'm saying. But where like my host family lives in Tsushino, there's not a whole lot to do there. That's definitely much more rural. That being said, that's more like the town that my hometown, the town I grew up in. That's, you know, like, there's just houses, you know, open space and trees and, you know, a couple farms. Like, that's more of the type of thing that I grew up in. But people in Japan would consider Tsujino like rural. Like, there's nothing there to them. basically. Whereas I would be like, oh, what a cute town. So, I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, I've also had experience driving in, like, Utah and the Midwest and other places like that, in, like, the Southwest mostly, but where there is literally nothing for, like, 3 hours of driving at, like, 90 miles an hour. Like, you don't even see another car for 3 hours. So, or a building, let alone a building. So, like, that is rural to me. And I'm not sure that there are places like that in Japan. If there are, I don't think that they're very common. So to them, like, a small town would be basically like nothing. And cities are basically like metropolises. They're like New York City. They're like, you know, everything is extremely close together. Not a whole lot of vegetation, you know, lots of tall buildings. It's basically what you would expect in a city. I don't know, I mean, it's different everywhere. And I mean, I'm also only speaking from my own experience. I don't know what it's like everywhere else. In terms of, like, how does transportation compare? It's definitely easier to get around in the city. Because, I mean, you have, like, the subways and the whole, like, transit system. But it's not difficult to get around either in, like, the country. So, I mean, I walk to my train station for about, like, this takes about 10 minutes. And I get on a bus and for maybe about 15 minutes to get to work. But I'm in, like, the country. In, like, a city, you'd be taking, like, a subway for that amount of time. I don't know. But I think it's like the transportation tends to be cheaper in the bigger cities, whereas in the country it's more expensive. In the country, more people tend to drive than they would in the cities, which is, you know, normal. Like, that's what it's like in the US too. I mean, a lot of people in New York City don't drive. So, whereas where I grew up, you need a car to get around everywhere. Yeah, cities and suburbs, they're different. But in Japan, they're not, like, completely and totally different. Like, my hometown and New York City are completely different. I feel like, at least where I am, and, like, the area that I am in, there's a little bit less of an extreme difference between city life and rural life, because you still get amazing public transportation anywhere in Japan. Like, there are a lot of buses that run, there are a lot of trains that run, and subways and cities. It's really not that difficult to get around if you don't have a car. I mean, it's useful to have a car, but it's really, you can definitely survive without a car. It's probably not as different as you're imagining. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions for the question corner, please put them in the comments below. This is number 7, but I have up to number 11 on a list here. So yeah, I mean, I can just continue adding them to the list. I really like doing them, so please keep the questions coming. And I'm going to try to keep the videos coming. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.